name is Nicole. I'm a producer for the Remembering Them podcast. The podcast is a platform for people to share stories and memories of their loved ones who have passed away. The podcast was created in memory of Dad, Bob Cecil. May he rest in peace. Your host, Mark, Ryan, and Luke acknowledge the rich history and importance of storytelling within the indigenous culture.
My name is Jorgi Skeen, and I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land in which we meet here today. Today we're meeting in Meanjin, and those traditional owners are the Yagara and Turrbal people. And I'd also like to pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and acknowledge my people, the Gubbi Gubbi people, and extend that acknowledgement to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people listening in today.
Hello, Luke and Ryan. Welcome back to the podcast.
Hello, Mark and Luke.
Good morning, boys.
Good to have you both on. Missed the last conversation, so looking forward to you hearing that back while you were away. May have made something up, which may or may not have been true.
I was going to say, what are we doing?
Might be something together.
Are we together?
Not.
Yeah, it'll be together. So
it's the truth,
predictable.
Yeah. While we're on guessing things together, let's start by both of you trying to guess where our guest is from today. 3 clues for you, as always. Play along at home, as always, and try to beat the boys. Clue number 1, where we are going. Okay, so this is a city. Okay. It's not a large city, so I'll give you that. But it's a city you've heard of, definitely.
Okay. All right.
So, clue number 1. The largest Buddhist stupa in the Western world was completed here in 2020. It's the largest stupa, I think that's how you say it, outside of Asia, modeled on the great stupa of Gyansi in Tibet. So stupa, had to look this up, it's like a dome-shaped large building temple.
Oh my God. I have no idea. You take this one, Luke.
Tibetan. I actually thought the first clue was like, you boys know of the city. And I was like, oh, sweet. That's a really good.
That would have been harsh. Pick a city. You've heard of it.
I'm feeling like it's close to home. I'm feeling like down in Sydney or Melbourne.
Okay. I don't mind that. Well, he did say it wasn't.
Which one?
He said it wasn't a big city, though. That was the only thing.
I mean, what are we comparing to here? Like to New York City? They're pretty small.
If we just say a city, we'll get to the next clue quicker.
Correct.
I don't want to throw it away. Okay. Let's a smaller one. Radelaide.
Not Adelaide. We have been there this year, though. I think Ryan missed that one. Clue number 2. He would have missed a clue as well, I'm sure. Clue number 2. In 2019, this city was named a UNESCO Creative City of Gastronomy, joining an elite global network celebrating food culture, local produce, and sustainable culinary innovation. So either of you know what gastronomy is, or both of you, do you know what gastronomy is?
No.
I assumed not. So it's a blend of...
I was going to say, did you know before you wrote the clues?
I had heard of it, but I couldn't tell you if someone just asked me outright. It's basically the blending of food and culture.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'm big on both. So no, I have no idea. Dude, these are hard questions.
They are hard. Yeah. They always are. Food and culture, UNESCO Creative City of Gastronomy, and largest Buddhist stupa you've got so far in the Western world.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing, man. I'm hurting.
The last clue, I promise. Take a stab at somewhere. I promise you, the last clue makes a little bit easier, slightly.
It's all yours, Ryan. It's all yours.
The problem is it's like smallish town that I've heard about. So it rules out like every major city that I know. Yeah. I'm going to say Toowoomba, so we go to the next clue.
Not Toowoomba, but you're in the right areas.
Okay.
Clue number 3.
All
So
right.
Toowoomba in regional Queensland in Australia for our international listeners. Clue number 3 for you and for those at home who haven't got it already, I'm assuming nobody. This city is home to the deepest underground gold mine in the Southern Hemisphere. It reaches 412 meters underground. It was once among the deepest operational mines of its kind in the world. So I'll give you an extra clue, we are in Australia.
Yeah, I think
Are we in Queensland?
Give us that.
Okay, we're not in Queensland.
No, Queensland. It seems like.
Dog.
Oh man. Okay.
All I
This
know
is
is Gympie. Gympie is gold.
Gympie
But
has a
Gympie
gold
is
mine.
unfortunately
Gympie is
Queensland.
also in Queensland, yes.
What about Ballarat?
Ooh. Locking in Ballarat?
When he says that, it's not Ballarat because he
Yeah,
wouldn't react like
100%.
that. But Ballarat's a good guess. So
It is a good guess. It is a good guess, but it's not the correct guess.
Bendigo.
We are in Bendigo. Well done, but not well done.
4
guesses.
I shouldn't have wasted my Toowoomba guess.
So the Great Stupa of Universal Compassion is 15 minutes just outside of Bendigo. And the third clue around the gold mine, the Central Deborah Gold Mine was the deepest underground gold mine in the Southern Hemisphere. So Bendigo is a welcoming regional hub that offers a blend of relaxed country living and a creative, community-focused atmosphere. Surrounded by bushland and dotted with charming cafes and markets, it's a place where locals value connection, lifestyle, and a strong sense of identity. Today's guest is a stay-at-home mum and content creator who uses her voice to raise awareness around child loss, offering support to others navigating its isolating journey. She shares life with her soon-to-be 18-year-old son and her energetic 2-year-old daughter, with a life shaped by deep love and resilience. She brings honesty, strength, and lived experience to every conversation. And here's a fun fact: the first school she attended had just 15 students. So from Bendigo in Victoria, we are speaking to today Stacey Winning. Welcome to the Remembering Them podcast officially, Stacey. Thank you very much for joining us all the way down. Well, not all the way, not that far away, but a little bit far away for us, regional Victoria in Bendigo.
Bendigo, yes. Thank you for having me.
Another homegrown person, guys. We haven't had a chat to an Aussie for, a few weeks now, but we mainly talk to people from the States, so it's nice to hear an Aussie accent on.
Yeah, there's not many Aussie accents, like Aussie accents. There's not many like Aussies that get on and grief podcasts, I've noticed, because most of them are like American. So it's good that there's an Australian one.
Yeah, and here we are. So thanks for jumping on and joining us. Stacey, if you'd like to start today by telling us who we're talking about today. I know there's a couple of special people that have passed away. If you'd like to tell us who we're talking about and what happened to them individually.
We're talking about my son Spencer, who was 15 months old when he died. He was hit by a car. And my partner Brad, who 2 years later went to sleep and never woke up. When I was 34 weeks pregnant, with our daughter. Spencer's accident was a freak accident. Nobody was ever charged for it. The driver was not charged for it. I don't blame the driver. I hold no hard feelings towards him. Like, it changed his life like it did ours that day. And because Bendigo is such a small town, I have heard that he's not doing well. Like, it's 5 years this year and he still hasn't even gotten behind the wheel of a car yet. So I can't even imagine what he's going through at the moment, or like for the rest of his life. But he was, so me and Spencer, I put him in the pram, buckled him in and walked out the door. And the only way that I could have the pram was facing like the footpath because of how small our veranda was. So I turned around to lock the door, and I didn't know that he could unbuckle his pram buckles. And I turned around to an empty pram. And then a man came up to me, like he could see that I was running around looking for Spencer. He came up to me and asked me if I was missing a baby, but he didn't know that he'd hit a baby. He thought that he'd hit a cat. And then when he came to the house, he seen the empty pram. So he asked me if I was missing a baby, and I said yes. And he goes, he's on the road. And I was like, oh, sorry. And I ran to go and get him. And that's when I seen him. And I'll never forget, behind me, he goes, I fucking hit him. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear. And I always wondered why he didn't tell me at the door, but I found out later on, it was because he actually didn't know himself. So we were finding out at the same time as each other.
So he saw the empty pram and then came up to try and help you find the baby, thinking that he had hit a cat?
No, so Spencer got out of his pram to chase seen a cat, and that's why he got out of the pram. There's CCTV footage of it, so the police know exactly what happened. So he seen the cat and he got out, unbuckled his pram and slid out the bottom of it. And we lived on an incline. So as soon as he hit that incline, he would have just rolled. But the driver seen the cat and not Spencer. So where he hit Spencer was very close to the bike lane. But he was going home from work. It was just an everyday thing for him. He drove past our house every day for 20 years. So yeah, I was going to the supermarket to go and get dinner. So they were both of our days were just normal days, and it changed. So after we got to the road, somebody was already on, it's a bit of a blur now, somebody was already on the phone to the ambulance, and the first thing I heard was there's no heartbeat. And then I remember doing CPR on him, going and getting my partner, and by that time there was within seconds pretty much, there was police and ambulance everywhere, more ambulance. They defibrillated him and then got him in the ambulance. So they got his heart started, got him in the ambulance, but they had to keep defibrillating him in the ambulance. And then within about an hour, I'd say, I don't know how long exactly, it felt like an hour. It could have been hours at the hospital. They called me into a room because Brad and my older son, Jacob, stayed home. Because I don't know, naively, we just thought that he was going to be okay. If you can get him in an ambulance and get him to the hospital, then that's where the doctors are that can fix him. But they called me into a room, and it's just like a movie. They tell you exactly like a movie. We're sorry, we tried everything. There's just nothing that we can do. It's he's a doctor's Like, I understand there's not much you can do when it is like, so his cause of death was multiple like injuries to his body, and there was visible trauma signs on his head. So even if he did survive, he wouldn't have had like the quality of life that he did have before that, because he was just beautiful. He is like, his smile, because I had him a year before the pandemic, so we were pretty much inside the whole time. And I think that might be why he had no road sense as well. Like, we didn't really go out, and if we did, he was in his pram all the time. So, and we were trying to get another house, but Bendigo's housing isn't like easy, and there was no fence. So if we wanted to get a fence, our other two neighbours had to put in towards the fence as well, and they didn't want to do it because it would have had, like, we were in a block of flats, so it would have had to be like a gated community kind of thing, and they didn't want that, obviously, for me to just move out because I didn't own it. So yeah, then we were told that we could only have 10 people at his funeral because it was like right in the middle of the pandemic. And he had, all up, there was 7 of us. So he's got 3. So my partner has 3 older siblings, and I have 1 older sibling, but I class them all as my own. And so does Brad. And then we would have had 1 more person to be able to come, because the 10 people, what they don't tell you is include the sermon and the other, I think there's another person that helps. So yeah, I thought that I was going to jail. Like, I said to the policewoman, I'm like, so where do we go from here? And she's like, you go home to your son. And I hadn't done my, like, to me, I hadn't done my job as a mum. Like, and I get it all the time, like the comments on my Instagram, I get all the time, like, you turned your back if you were in childcare. We're not in childcare. If I was in childcare, I'd have 4 other people with me, but I don't have eyes in the back of my head. I haven't seen the CCTV footage, but according to the detectives, and it was actually, there was a coroner inquest as well. So the coroner wanted it investigated, not inquest, coroner investigation. Sorry. So yeah, they had to watch it, and that's how they know that, because I didn't even know how he got out. Like, I was like, how? I put him in that pram inside. I walked out with him strapped in the pram, turned around, and he was gone. Like, how did he even get out? And they're the ones that told me that he got out and slid. So because I didn't have it was like spring, and I didn't have the foot muff, like the foot hood thing on the pram, so he could just slide out, and that's what he done. And now my daughter is at the stage where she's doing it now, and I think I filmed it the other day. It took her 4 seconds 4 seconds to, like, she wasn't unbuckled. She doesn't know how to unbuckle herself. I don't let her see me unbuckle her. So, and I think I don't make a big deal about her buckle or anything, like nothing. I don't draw any attention to her buckle because I had no idea that every time they watch, and it makes sense, every time they watch you do it, they're learning how to do it. So they're learning how to unbuckle themselves. And yeah, I would not wish it on my worst enemy. Like,
Yeah, and look, 4 seconds is nothing, and it could have even been less than that. And
yeah,
I mean, it's quite easy to, jump online and say whatever. So let me just say straight away, don't listen to those keyboard
It's
warriors because
insane.
with two young kids myself, I know that you can turn your back and they could be, off doing whatever.
Oh, it's
and, it can happen
crazy
to
how
anyone.
quickly kids run away and do
oh
shit.
my, I know.
Like, for somebody to say that, that's like ridiculous. Like, surely they haven't experienced that.
I got on this morning and someone was like, if you can't watch your kid, don't have them. And I was
Oh
like,
my God.
what?
And
Oh,
even if, and like, parents are already so sleep deprived and like stressed out anyway.
Yes.
Like, oh my God.
This is a paid partnership with BetterHelp. Hey Luke and Ryan, life gets heavy sometimes, especially when grief hits. For me, that weight often shows up as anxiety.
Yeah, it's not always one big thing. Sometimes it's just life piling up, work, relationships, trying to hold it all together. Suddenly, I'm anxious and don't know why.
Totally. I used to think anxiety meant panic attacks, but for me, it's more like overthinking every choice or feeling like I'm never doing enough.
And it can even hit on good days. Out of nowhere, I'm spiraling over things that haven't even happened yet.
It's easy to feel alone in it, but you're not.
That's why we're talking about our paid partner, BetterHelp.
BetterHelp connects you with credentialed therapists who can help manage anxiety and more.
Most people go to BetterHelp for anxiety, and 69% feel better after just 6 weeks.
Getting started is simple. Fill out a quick questionnaire and get matched with a therapist. If it's not a fit, you can switch at any time.
Their support team is super responsive, and with over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 Trustpilot rating, it's a platform you can count on.
So let BetterHelp help manage your anxiety so it doesn't manage you.
Click the link below or go to betterhelp.com/rememberingthem for 10% off your first month.
Stacey, how long ago was that?
that
Spencer?
was September 2020.
Yeah. As you said, smack bang in the middle of COVID, which had
Yeah.
its additional layers with funerals and restrictions, as you said, and all the rest of it. So
Yeah. So we were actually, the day before his funeral, we were like, it went up to 20. So we were lucky there. We could invite, he hadn't really met many people anyway because we'd been in the in lockdown. So I think we had just on 20 people there. But
Yeah.
like, everyone was scattered. I've never seen anything like it. It didn't even look like a funeral. Like, everyone was like seated a seat apart. Me and my partner couldn't even sit next to each other. Like, it was crazy. Now I think back on it, like, we were able to, there was a lot of things that we weren't able to do either. So apparently they get the like hand casts and feet casting from New South Wales somewhere, and they couldn't get them in because over the border. There was a lot of things that we couldn't do. Yeah.
and then it wasn't, too long after that. You said 18 months, and then what happened to Brad then?
Brad came home just like normal from any other day at work. So he was a chicken catcher. But he was a tradie by trade. So he was a contractor by trade. And we were just trying to save money so that he could start his own business again. But having a baby at the same time. And I remember I was on the phone, I was standing at the bench, I was on the phone to my best friend like I was every other day that Brad came home. Excuse me. And by 5 o'clock that morning, my son was sending her messages like, Auntie Stacey, my best friend's name's Stacey as well. You've got to answer the phone. Brad's dead. Like, so we went to bed. He'd had a couple of drinks, but it was only cider, and it was when he was on the way back from work. So he wasn't drink driving. They used to get driven home in a big van, like a minibus. And on a Thursday, because it was the last day of work, they'd have a couple of drinks. But like I said, it was apple cider, and if he drank bourbon. So cider was nothing. And it was hours before we went to bed. I went to bed, and like I said, I was very pregnant, so I didn't sleep very well. And I did feel him like moving around a little bit. And then I woke up to Jacob saying to me, Brad's on the floor. And he had his head in a bin. So I think he was going to throw up. I don't know, because he was very sick he had to have one of those like the tubes down your throat to look at his stomach and stuff. But he obviously didn't make his appointment. And they don't know why. They can't give me any reason why. But he'd probably only been gone for 3 hours, and yeah, they didn't send an ambulance for him. They sent an ambulance for me. So like I rang the ambulance, and I was doing compressions on him, but because I was too pregnant, Jacob took over. Jacob's 17 now, so he would have been 14. Well, he's 18 now. Sorry, 18 in a couple of days. So he was 15 at the time. And so he started doing compressions while I was talking to the man on the phone. And they just took forever. Like, it felt like they were taking forever. And then all of a sudden the police, like, they obviously knew that he was gone. Like, because police just all of a sudden walked through the door. There was no ambulance. The ambulance, they said to me, is here for me. Like, because I was so pregnant, they needed me to go up and monitor the baby. Which was, I don't even really remember that bit. Like, that is really blurry. I remember ringing the kid's mum, so Brad's children's mother, and yeah, I shouldn't have. I was like, I told her, I asked her, don't tell anybody until I get out of the hospital at least, and then I can go and tell his mum and dad. Like, and she went straight and told his mum and dad. So it looked like I didn't go and tell him, but I was, nothing. His family is difficult anyway. So, obviously, because we didn't have money for a funeral, like, we were having a baby. So the funeral home that done Spencer's funeral for me, done Brad's for me as well. And we just had a viewing with like his closest friends. And then they sent him to, I don't know why, we have a crematorium in Bendigo, but they sent him to New South Wales. So it took a while to get him back because apparently it's cheaper there. So they were doing me a favor. Yeah. The way that it has changed our family dynamic, even losing Spencer just completely wrecked us. But having lost Brad and Spencer, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have Luna. Like, Jacob kept me here after losing Spencer, but after losing both Spencer and Brad, if I didn't have that little bit of them both, I don't know what I would do. I really don't. Like, I'd obviously still be here for Jacob, but he's probably the only reason that I would be. She gave me, especially after losing a child as well, like, they definitely don't replace the child that you've lost, but they give you new hope and like new purpose. Because Jacob, like I said, he's turning 18 in a couple of days. So, oh no, sorry, in a month. So he doesn't need me anymore. He goes to work, he goes to school. He doesn't even tell me when he leaves the house. But Luna, and I see both Brad and Spencer in her too. So it's nice.
Stacey, how would you describe both Spencer and Brad as individuals to complete strangers?
Spencer was, I believe he was too precious for this earth, just because of how evil it's turning. Like, he was so happy. And like, he was known on my Facebook for his smile and his laugh. I don't even think I have a video of him crying, to be honest. Like, he was the happiest baby. And I don't know about yous, but I don't think Australians are very religious. Sorry. Are very religious. So I believe in the universe, not a god. But I think that the universe knew that he was going to be here for a short time, because absolutely everything was easy. Like, down to falling pregnant with him. Like, me and Brad had only, like, we'd been talking for a couple of months, but we'd only seen each other three times, and I fell pregnant. So, yeah, he was amazing. He and Brad, he was just the strength that he had to, because losing Spencer, absolutely, like, his mum had dementia. His mum is also his grandmother. His grandmother raised him, and so he would be over there a lot of the time making sure that she was okay. So he didn't get to spend as much time with Spencer as I did, because obviously you think that your grandmother's going to go before your 15-month-old son. And he felt very guilty for that. Very, very guilty. And every day since Spencer died, Brad fought to be here and fought to go to work. He just, Brad was strong, like mentally, physically, emotionally. He tried to show he's strong, but emotionally he wasn't. Yeah, emotionally he was damaged, and something like that happened. Like, and because it was such a small town, like, because we're in such a small town too. Like, everybody, it was on the front newspaper. I mean, the front page of the newspaper. Come here. And the it's okay. The journalists were like camping outside our house. It was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, it was all. I don't think I got on Facebook for a good 3 months afterwards, just because every time I got on there was either something about Spencer or something would remind me about Spencer. Like, I was following a lot of like influencers that had children around the same age, and I don't follow them anymore, because looking at their children that are supposed to be my child's age is hard. So yeah. And his eyes, Spencer had really blue eyes, like really blue eyes. Everybody commented on his eyes too.
Stacey, do you have a favorite story or memory of either Brad and Spencer together or individually?
Every time, so when Brad would come home from his grandparents, he would walk through the door, and Spencer would no matter where he was, he'd like start headbanging but the ground, because he could only crawl. And he'd be like, dad, 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 dad. And then that is, yeah, that's probably one of my favorite. Like, just hearing him say dad and mum. He used to try and feed the dog without me knowing. So, like, he'd slyly try and push his food off the bench without me knowing. And I do have a video of him, and I'm like, oi. And he looked at me, and I'm like, can you stop feeding the dog? And he's like, ah. And I'm like, yeah, I caught you. And he's like, just pushes it off the bench anyway, like, not a care in the world. And Brad is anytime he was with his kids, like, that is one of the number one reasons why I fell completely in love with him and wanted to have a child, like a baby, with him, because I just the pure love in his whole presence when it came to his kids. Like, if they needed to kick up the ass, he was happy to do it, but he didn't want to, and he would rather talk to them than, like, yell, discipline, I guess. it's hard to explain. Just, when somebody is like, you can tell that they're really good with kids because they are good with their own. And his kids loved him. They wouldn't, there's no way that the kids would idolize his, like, everything to do with him if he wasn't a good person. And he just, everything was for us. Like, everything was for his family and for Luna. Like, we just picked out Luna's name because he wanted Grace. And I wanted Luna. So we came to.
You won, of course.
I did.
Yeah.
And then we have Lee. So she's got a really long name, actually. So Luna, Grace, and then Lee, because my middle name and my best friend's middle name is Lee. So we have the identical names. And then Brad's best friend, which is also Luna's godfather, is called Lee. So there's.
That all made sense then to include all of those names. Stacey, how will you and Jacob, and even with Luna, who just popped up then, going forward, how will you as a family remember or plan to remember Spencer and also Brad?
The Remembering Them podcast is supported by My Legacy Message. How do you want to be remembered? My Legacy Message provides a service that delivers a personalized keepsake video to your loved ones, often as a surprise after you pass. My Legacy Message, be remembered.
I have actually just started collaborating with another company called Lifebooks, and you get on the computer and you put all your photos on, and you write all your memories. You can get their family members to join and send their photos in. And so I'm making one of them at the moment for Spencer, because he only had a really short life. Though I'm making it from like when I was pregnant and onwards. That's more for Luna, but I guess for anybody that comes after Luna as well that didn't know Spencer. And I'll make one of them for Brad as well. I turned Brad's Facebook page into like a legacy page. So his friends get on there and write stuff for Luna. And I don't know if it's really common anymore, but a lot of my friends I've been friends with for about 20 years. So they all knew Brad when we were kids as well. So they'll be able to tell Luna all the stories. Like her auntie tells her stories all the time about him.
That's awesome. You'll have that community around you to help remember Brad as well.
Yes.
What about advice that you would give? Obviously, you've gone, that period of time was quite short. And I guess they're different pieces of advice too, because very different situations. But maybe on one hand, what happened with Spencer and advice to, parents and people that look after children. If you can give any, even not particularly necessarily around the safety aspect, because what we've spoken about, it can happen so quickly, but I guess the grieving process after losing a child so young, and then also then what about for people that have lost their partners, their loves, as you have with Brad?
Give yourself time, because I don't think I was not in shock for a good 2 years. And I remember the night that it hit me, I was sitting there, Brad had just gone to work, and I was alone. And nighttime is always the worst for some, like, obviously, because everything quietens down at nighttime. And it just hit me, and I was like, oh my God, I don't have a baby anymore. Like, and I don't, it was 2 years in. He'd been gone for 2 years. So give yourself the time to come out of shock. Because depending on the situation, you could be in shock for years. Like, and don't listen to people. Like, people suck, especially when it comes to this kind of grief, because they think, oh, you're not over it, you're still talking about it. Like, yeah, I am, because it's my son and it's my partner. That was my future. Like, how people think that you could just get over losing a part of you. Like, I know that, like, adoption and stuff like that is different. Not different, because you still love the baby, but like, I gave birth to Spencer, and I will never get over losing him. Like, the trauma of losing him will heal, hopefully. But I still have panic attacks when I see ambulances, and especially my friends live on a main road, so when I see the red and blue lights go past, that just puts me straight back in onto the road that night. So, and that's 5 years later. So I get, like, when I read my comments, there's parents that lost their children 16 years ago and they still think of them every day. So you definitely never ever will get over it, but you learn to live with, like, a broken heart, pretty much. That's the only way that I can really describe it.
That makes sense, and it's really good advice, both on the the social front and the longevity, and as you said, it could hit you at random times, a couple of years down the track or whatever it might be. So really good advice, and thank you for sharing that. I've got one final question for you for the main part of the podcast.
Yeah.
Ryan or Luke, before I ask that question, do you have anything that you wanted to ask Stacey?
No, I'm good, mate. I'm just enjoying hearing about your story, Stacey. So
Thank
usually
you.
we do speak, but
we always know it's a good story or a good conversation, Stacey, when you don't hear from the other two, and I sort of drive things.
Thank you. So it's a good thing.
It's a lot, I would just say. Yeah, like when Luke and I shut up, it's it's usually because we're like gobsmacked.
processing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's normally Luke saying, "Yeah, I'm really enjoying listening and hearing about it," and Ryan's just in awe. I can't believe it. So it is a good thing. So I will ask you with the final question, Stacey. Generally, traditionally it's been one of the hardest ones people find. So I'm sure you'll be okay, though. You're obviously a very strong woman. We normally ask our guests, if both Spencer and Brad were in front of you today, what would you say to them?
That I love them and I miss them. And I hope they're proud of me. I do. I that's probably my main one, especially Brad with raising Luna. Like, I hope that I'm making him proud. And I hope that I'm making Spencer proud by sharing his story and trying to help other parents. Yeah, but definitely would give them a big kiss and a cuddle.
Thanks for sharing that, Stacey. Obviously can't speak for Spencer and Brad, but I can speak for the podcast, and we're proud of you. You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
You told their story wonderfully, and even with a 2-year-old clinging to you and vying for your attention. So thank you very much for sharing your story on the podcast. Don't listen to the haters, because I'm sure by continuing to tell your story, it'll help someone out there. And sounds like it has with other people that have had child loss and partner loss as well. So thank you for joining us on the podcast and sharing your story. We've really appreciated you giving up your time.
No, that's okay. Thank you for having me.
So Ryan and Luke, that was Stacey from the regional town of Victoria. Regional town of Bendigo in Victoria. Yeah.
Forgot your own clues, mate.
I did. Just outside of
Rookie.
down near Melbourne for our international listeners. Down near Melbourne is the major city, closest major city, I would say.
It was a good chat. It was a really good chat. Yeah, I think if you listen to the podcast, me and Ryan are just silent, and like you said, that's when you know it's a good story, shall we say? A good story through a horrible time.
Yeah, I feel like my main contribution a lot of the time is just shit talk. And then when we have these ones that are like, holy shit, like are so heavy, I'm just like, well, I got nothing. Like, I kind of am just like blown away. Yeah, for me, this is like one of the heaviest ones as well. Like it's, yeah,
especially when we not to, dilute any or downplay anybody's loss.
No.
But, arguably, one of the hardest too is, a child or your loved one. And she's just had that in a period of 18 months. And both really tough circumstances as well. Like Stacey said in the Patreon, there's an element of guilt there with Spencer, and then completely different. Brad, just no explanation. And I guess the similarity with both is how quickly and easily that can happen to anyone. Spencer, brief moment, unclipped, and there's an accident, and with Brad, just went to sleep. Never woke up.
Yeah, I feel like that's especially hard. Like I think, Stacey's dealing with this couple of very difficult ones in connection with each other. Like the losing a child is bad enough, let alone you having to deal with the guilt of, it's 100% an accident, but some people, like she said, are making it out like it's her fault. This is not your fault, though you're still going to have that guilt attached to it. And then on top of that, losing your life partner as well that you have kids with. And she was pregnant at the time as well, I think.
Pregnant
right?
at the
Like,
time.
yeah,
with
like
Luna,
so. God, like
I would have flipped the script and say very inspirational though.
Yep.
Very strong.
Yeah.
Because when you lose someone, like I don't know about you boys, but you just want to disappear into a corner, into the deepest pit of the universe. And you just want to stay there for a few months and do your own thing and then come back out of it. But yeah, if you have a newborn Luna, if you're 8 months pregnant and then, you don't have long before the little one's out, you got to on to the next. So yeah, hats off to Stacey, because that's something I could never do myself.
Oh yeah, I don't know how she's doing. Like,
she's a superwoman. Yeah, she's unbelievable to deal with that, both losses and be a mum to Luna and just have to plow on through things. She deserves all the positivity and love, which you don't always get online. So we mentioned that to Stacey. Just ignore that. She's doing an amazing job. Had a really good chat with Stacey, obviously, on the Patreon, guys. So if you aren't a Patreon member, you won't hear these little.
Probably the best part. Probably the best.
Yeah, maybe. So we had a chat around how her and Brad met, and we also spoke about Ryan for once asked a really good question. Someone just around the accident and the perspective, I guess, from the driver and what that has looked like since. So that's you'll only get access to that in the Patreon chat. That was really cool. Well, somewhat cool. It was a good question and really interesting, I should say. A really interesting conversation. So Patreon, a way to support the podcast. $6 a month US, about $9 a month Australian. Have access to all the exclusive chats, not just with Stacey, but all of our previous guests and also our chat to professional guests as well. So get involved there, patreon.com/remembering them podcast. Reminder that we also have the My Legacy Message service, mylegacymessage.com.au, where you can leave video messages to your loved ones, often a surprise after you pass. Stacey mentioned throughout our podcast chat how she's working on creating a book with pictures and comments to preserve Spencer's legacy. So this is an opportunity or a service that we have for people to leave video messages to their loved ones. So check that one out. Reminder that we have the BetterHelp partnership. If you are struggling and need to speak to someone, a credentialed therapist is available. BetterHelp.com/remembering them podcast. And also reminder to share and like this episode if you can think of anyone that would really benefit from listening to Stacey's story. Share the podcast episode out, but also any of our previous episodes, and give us a like, rating and review on your preferred podcast platforms, and follow us on all of our socials. That would be fantastic too. I think that covers it all. Guys, thank you very much for joining me today. It's really good, tough
Thank you.
conversation, but one I think that'll help someone out there.
Thank you for holding it all together. The glue.
Appreciate you boys giving up your time. Looking forward to the next conversation. Love you. Bye.
All right. Love you, bro.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Luke.
The Remembering Them podcast is created for entertainment purposes. Mark, Ryan, and Luke are not licensed mental health professionals. If you would like to discuss your mental well-being, several resources are available in Australia. Information about these services are available in the podcast notes. Please take the time to contact your loved one today and tell them how much you appreciate and love them.